YouTube Shorts. We ran a mastermind retreat for creators last week in Crete, and this was one of the topics that we talk about. Many YouTubers in the room, some of them really big channels, but they hadn't done shorts yet because they say it's going to damage it's not good for the algorithm, it's going to harm my channel because it's going to reduce their AVD. There are also smaller YouTubers who started doing shorts and who managed to grow their channels very rapidly. What is your opinion on YouTube Shorts? Who should do this?
So I do think it is good for small channels, but you have to remember that a lot of these small channels grew very rapidly, but the numbers are almost like fairy dust. Like, does it really exist? So they might be getting 10, 20 million views a month, but that's not converting into revenue or like loyal subscribers. And that's not to say that you shouldn't do shorts, but it is also just to kind of always keep that in context of how these channels have blown up with shorts. And sure, like there's like the Addison Rays, these big TikTok stars, the D'Amelios and things, that they've built really big businesses, and they're doing really well. But that's like the Cristiano Ronaldo or the Messi. It's like the 0.001%. A lot of people make short form content and have 5 or 10 million followers and barely make enough to live on. Now, maybe they could be doing better with their business. And I do know people who are really bullish on short form content and like do product placement and stuff, and they make decent money doing it. But I just think that has to be always taken into consideration. I think smaller channels, it's still worth trying and it's still worth experimenting. I think for bigger channels, it just comes down to this simple question. If you make shorts, are they going to still be interesting to your existing audience, to the audience you're trying to build your channel around? Because if you're just making shorts for the sake of going viral, what's the point? Whereas if you're making shorts that still fill the same gap and still like, they're almost like, just what happens if your videos just look like 60 seconds? Like, they're the same kind of content. I think you can still do it. There's no like algorithm punishment. I work with a channel recently doing 150 million views a month, and they post like the majority of those views come from just 10-minute videos, but they post lots of shorts. I know for sure, and it's just like a practice what you preach thing, I'm not going to make shorts on my channel because I've got a very specific format. I don't want to mess with that by posting like lower quality videos just for the sake of going viral. So like a lot of things, it's very nuanced, it's very situational, it depends on the context you're in. Like, some channels I see and advise, yeah, you can give them a try. Some people I say there's no real need to do them. But the punishment that people are worried about, that was a factor at the very start. It's not a factor anymore. YouTube have made changes to the way shorts are integrated in browse and the way that affects your channel, so that there's no negative punishment. It's more just there's no algorithmic punishment. It's more, if it is any punishment, it might be just that the audience like don't like them and don't watch them. So the general advice I'd say is, if you're a small channel, I think it's just, the idea is just to try everything you can and just try different things. Just don't think shorts are like the saving grace. Like, they're not necessarily going to just change everything for you. If you're a bigger channel with an existing audience, I would just say be careful, but don't think you can't make them for some algorithm reason. Give one short a try, but just make sure it's closely following the content you're making. So, for example, like on my channel, I try to do detailed video breakdowns. But if I was to look at what works well on shorts, I've seen lots of these videos which are like, how much does this YouTuber make? And it's like 60 seconds of like, how much does this YouTuber make? He makes 60 million because of this, and this. And they're not educational, they're not interesting, they're just like, how much he makes. If I was to make those videos, maybe they'd do well, but they're not bringing in the right audience. And they're kind of like almost watering down my value proposition. I don't want to be a channel that just makes like videos on how much this person makes. I used to do that like 2-3 years ago. But now I want to be someone that focuses on like high quality educational content, and that doesn't fall in that category.